I want to turn to a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Hooters. You know Hooters? It's the chicken place where you get wings and beer and the women have kind of short shorts on and tight little t-shirts, and it's not the most politically correct place and it's not the most feminist place, but it is a place where people often go on their bachelor parties. So Hooters, and the reason they go is because they have great chicken. It's like when people say, I read Playboy for the articles. You go to Hooters for the chicken wings. They are actually excellent chicken wings. So Hooters has a new uniform. And the uniforms were already a little risque. And starting this month, all Hooters girls are required to wear these new shorts, which are even less modest than the old shorts. And they kind of display a little bit more in the way of the tights and the curves and the things that a lot of people go to Hooters to see. So they say the old shorts should not be worn. Some women are upset about this. I doubt that really any of the Hooters staff members are upset about this. Right? They're working at Hooters. They know what they're signing up for. Okay, this is not some Victorian bed and breakfast or something. This is a place where you are there to cater to guys who want to see women wearing skimpy little outfits. But some people are offended on behalf of the people who are at Hooters, and they're saying this is awful and terrible and patriarchal and sexist and whatever. I find myself a little bit torn here because I don't think that we ought to encourage more licentiousness in the culture. I think we've got plenty of that, and I'm not of the opinion of the libertines, or sometimes the libertarians who trend a little libertine to say, yeah, woohoo, do whatever you want, fulfill any base desires that you have, just don't make me pay for it or something like that. I think it's good to orient our public policy toward virtue and away from vice. But I think there's a pretty conservative argument for Hooters, okay? And it's a distinction that increasingly in our culture, the left especially, but even the right kind of fails to understand. And that is the difference between something that is suggestive and something that is obscene. On the grand scope of our culture, Hooters is actually pretty wholesome, okay? We live in a culture that is saturated in porn, so obviously there's hardcore porn all over the internet. We live in a culture where you can barely turn on a TV show without seeing all sorts of crazy sex stuff and all crazy sorts of violence and really bizarre sorts of things. You can barely look at a billboard. I was in New York. I was on the subway in New York. They've got advertisements all over the subway car, and it was for one of the dating apps. And it's all sorts of people licking each other and in all sorts of crazy positions. And it's a guy and a girl and two dudes and two chicks and like a guy and a girl and a goat. And I don't know, it's all weird stuff, okay? And you think compared to that, Hooters is fine, It's not, Hooters is actually in a way kind of modest. The women are totally clothed, all right? And it's not a brothel, it's not a strip club, it's a chicken restaurant. It reminds me of the perennial debate, the non-controversy over Baby It's Cold Outside. It's a baby, it's cold outside. Well, I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. And the libs listen to the lyrics, which are of a guy inviting this woman in to have a cup of cocoa or to have maybe something a little stronger than that. And the woman says, no, I really can't. No, I really shouldn't. He says, no, baby, come on. It's cold out there. You don't want to go back out there. No, I should go home. No, really, come on in, right? And the libs say, well, this is a song about rape. It's rapey. He's trying to rape her because the libs don't understand the difference between rape and coercion and seduction, right? The whole point of Baby It's Cold Outside is that the woman actually does want to stay. It's not that she's fleeing the man. It's like, no, get me out of here, call the cops, right? She is attracted to the man is attracted to her, and in the traditional way of doing things, until about 5 minutes ago, the man would pursue the woman, and the woman would be modest and resist in a way, and then acquiesce if she liked the guy, or not acquiesce if she didn't like the guy. And now we pretend that men and women are exactly the same, and men need to take 6 months of paternity leave or whatever to chest feed or something. I don't know. There's a lot of jargon now. But men and women actually are different. And Baby It's Cold Outside, even though it's a song about a guy wanting to sleep with a girl and a girl wanting to sleep with the guy, in a way it's sort of wholesome as well, okay? There's something perfectly normal about recognizing that men are attracted to women, women are attracted to men, and we need to constrain those desires in a certain way and limit them and not just have everybody running around naked putting all sorts of things in all sorts of places, but actually need to restrain them, even if it is just with a skimpy Hooters outfit. I'm so glad you enjoyed that clip. I enjoyed it too, you know? I just felt it sounded good, it looked good. I'm glad that we can agree on that. If you want to see more clips, if you want to see the whole show, subscribe here, ring the bell. Also head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. For free, you can subscribe to the Michael Knowles Show podcast. Helps us get around the censors that come up every now and again. We'll see you next time.